Hey bestie, hey boo thing. I am so glad that you are here. Okay, I'm coming begging. Okay, I'm coming begging because a friend in need is a friend indeed, right? Okay, so if you have not already taken care of these little tiny housekeeping things, I would love for you to do that now. All right, I need you to please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. I hope that by the end of the episode, at least you will have liked the video, comment in the comment section, and last but certainly not least, would you please share this episode with someone that you know would enjoy it also. It's coming up in Hey family. Hey sunshines, hey my loves, hey my boos, hey my besties, hey my everybody. I love you, baby. I love you, baby. And thank you so much for taking your time to tune in and share some of it with me today. I hope that you are having the best day ever. I hope that you are feeling good today. Okay. And if you're not, I want to lend my smile, share my smile with you. And let me go ahead and introduce myself for those who's like, girl, I don't even know you to want your smile. Who are you? All right. So my name is Tiff. I'm Tiffany Williams, and I am the owner and principal consultant of Organized Energy Coaching and Consulting. And it is my pleasure to be a trainer, a speaker, workshop facilitator, one-on-one coach and consultant, all that stuff. So I speak to large groups, I speak to small groups, I speak to people one-on-one. And typically that subject matter is concerning small business strategy, small business consulting, small business development, that kind of thing. You know, basically how to get your small business going or how to help it operate optimally, branding and growth for small business and all those things. So anyway, I love to talk about small business. The other thing that I teach and train and consult on is work-life balance and time management. And kind of along those lines ends up being a part of the conversation, holistic development. So just kind of focusing on the whole person, being the best you can be in all areas so that you can show up in the way you need to for work and for life. So anyway, all that being said, so business development, work-life balance, and time management, they kind of go hand in hand. And just kind of to tie them both together, I would just kind of say holistic development. So that's just kind of taking care of being better on all ends, or trying to be at least. Got it? Okay. So that's who I is. That's what I do. I'm a mama, and I'm a child of God. All right. I think that's all you need to know. Probably just that way. Last one's probably the most important. And I don't really go and just introduce myself that way because hopefully the way that I treat people will say that without me having to say it. You know, that's the goal, you guys. But all that being said, I thought it was not robbery to just introduce myself to those who may be newly tuning in to the show. But no matter if you are newly rocking with me or if you've been rocking with me for a while now, I want to welcome all of you to today's show. I want to thank all of you for sharing your time with me. I appreciate you. I love you. And I'm praying God's best blessings upon you. All right. So I won't be long because I don't think you have to be long in order to be strong. Okay. I want to share something with you really quickly. And honestly, I can't take the credit for any of this. This message is actually coming courtesy of my 7-year-old child. out of the mouths of babes, as the Bible says. And so this is something that God used her to teach me. And I want to share it with you. And that is, I want to tell you that a couple of weeks ago, my 7-year-old lost her tooth. And boy, oh boy, was this a lesson for me. So on the, which way do I want to go with this and tell you about this? I'll tell you the story first. I'll tell you what happened, and then I'll tell you the backstory. So basically, let me tell you guys this real quick. I am recording in a different space today. So if you hear maybe an echoey kind of sound, or if the sound sounds a little bit off, forgive me. All right. You're still going to get this goodness today. You're still going to get this message. But it might have a little echo to it because of where I am recording. So I apologize in advance, but hopefully that does not make such an effect that listening is just awful. Hopefully the sound is decent for you, okay? All right, because I'm saying all of this in love, what I want to share today. But a couple of weeks ago, my baby girl, so my oldest kids, they're, in their 20s. But then I've got this baby. I got a bonus baby. She's 7. And so a couple of weeks ago, I'm back at my in my tooth fairy role now. I've got 3 that are older, and here I am, tooth fairies coming back around with this bonus baby that I have. And so this tooth that she lost a few weeks ago, it has been loose for a very long time. It's been loose for probably 3 months now. I mean, really loose, loose, almost hanging on a string type of loose. And so when she went to the dentist about 3 months ago, to have 2 of her other teeth pulled, because her baby teeth just did not fall out on their own so easily. So her first 2 little teeth actually didn't fall out. Her first 2 teeth that she lost 3 months ago actually had to be pulled out. Her teeth were, the bottom 2 teeth already had the adult teeth growing up behind the baby teeth, but the baby teeth wouldn't get loose enough to where they would come out on their own. And so the adult teeth were just standing up just as tall as the baby teeth were. It's like she had 2 rows of teeth, y'all, like my baby had shark teeth. And I took her to the dentist when it began, when you could see that they were growing in, but the dentist was like, or they was already kind of halfway tall, but the dentist at that time, several months ago, maybe almost 9 months ago, was like, leave it alone. The teeth are fine. I know that it looks like they're as tall as the baby teeth. And I know that it looks like, you want to push this thing and, whatever, but just, they'll fall out on their own. Just give them time. Well, months and months later, maybe 7 months later, the teeth had not fallen out on their own. And I'm like, now this doesn't look right. 2 rows of teeth, and these teeth need to be moving on out the way. So I took her to the dentist again, and they agreed, they probably do need to come in, go ahead and be pulled. And her roots were so long that those teeth were not going to fall out. Those roots were just, geez Louise, they look like shark teeth. When they did pull those 2 baby teeth out, like, my gosh, those roots were long. But anyway, all that being said, when the dentist was pulling out her front 2 bottom teeth, this is the way she had to lose her first teeth. They didn't come out like everybody else's. The top tooth of her front tooth was loose. And the dentist was like, oh boy, this is really loose. I wouldn't be surprised that if in the next few days, this top front tooth is going to be gone. Like, she bites into an apple, this thing is probably gone. Like, this tooth is loose. And so the weekend came and the tooth remained. And the next weekend came and the next weekend came. And here we are 3 months later. And this loose tooth, that's the top tooth, hasn't gone anywhere. It's loose, but it wouldn't budge, right? It wouldn't fall out. And so we tried, it was time for her to go get her teeth cleaning, maybe a month ago. And the dentist was like, ooh, that tooth is still here. I'm surprised. But if you would just twist it a little bit, just pull on it, tug on it just a little bit, it's going to come. Like all you got to do is just twist it one good time, pull it and twist. And it's a goner. It's going to come out. So we go home, and for the last month or so, we had been pulling and twisting. Each night we would kind of wiggle this tooth a little more. I mean, and you would be surprised that the tooth hadn't fallen out because, I mean, it was freaking loose, you guys. But it just would not budge. And it was like it was on the verge of coming out. It just wouldn't do it. So we're pulling and twisting. And every night I'm like, having my daughter come into my room, and when we're praying and reading her little Bible story or whatever at night, the last thing we would do before we kiss and I send her to bed is like, let's work out your tooth. Let's do this little exercise and wiggle this tooth a little more. And we did that. And she would say, Mom, it's fine. Just leave it alone. Mama, it's fine. Leave it alone. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. And so I'm like, no, I got to help you get this tooth out. It's annoying me that this tooth is so loose, but it won't come. So she's like, Mama, it's okay. It really is. My tooth is going to fall out. And I'm steadily every night pushing. I'm like, let me wiggle this tooth more. We got to get this tooth out, And so the more I try to wiggle and jiggle this tooth, the more adamant this tooth was about it wasn't coming. It wasn't going to come out. And I was kind of getting a little frustrated because I'm like, this don't make no sense. This is crazy. It's only a tooth. Come on, give it up already. Come out. But it didn't want to. And she really wanted the tooth to come out too. She was so excited to lose her teeth. And so I really wanted to make sure that she lost it, and I'm like, well, here, let Mama help you. I'm going to help you get this because I don't know why she's so infatuated with losing her little front teeth, but she's excited about it. And it was like my duty to help this thing come along a little quicker, right? So anyway, all that being said, tooth wouldn't budge. Loose, but wasn't going to move. So about 2 weeks ago, we were sitting at dinner. I guess it was dinner, lunch. I don't know. We were eating something at the table. And my baby bit into something and her tooth fell out. And it just came out on its own. And she's like, oh my gosh, I just lost my tooth. Whatever. I forgot even what she was eating. Oh, it was something soft. Well, green beans. It was green beans. Oh my gosh, y'all. So it was green beans that she was eating, not an apple and nothing hard. Green beans. And let me just go and tell y'all now, it wasn't my cooking. It was my daughter. It was my 21-year-old. 20, she'll be 21 in a couple months. It was my 20-year-old's cooking. But anyway, but green beans made this baby's tooth fall out, right? And so she says to me, she said, Mama, see, I told you. She said, Mama, you wanted the tooth to fall out when you wanted the tooth to fall out. But I kept telling you, if you would leave it alone, it was going to fall out on its own. And see, Mama, we wasn't even bothering it. And it came out on its own. And I sat there. And what could I say to that? And so on the backstory for this particular tooth, or her teeth in general, it wasn't even just her teeth. So when she was a baby, let me go back. When she was a baby, 7 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, no tooth. And usually with little babies, when they are maybe 5, 6, 7, at least 8 months, they have a little tooth coming in, at least one little tooth trying to come in, right? A little piece of rice looking thing laying in their gums. At least they got a little something trying to come in. Well, my baby, when she was 5, 6, 7, 8 months, this child did not have a tooth, not one. And I was like, where is this baby's teeth? She ain't had no teeth. 9 months, 10 months, 11 months. No teeth. 1 year old, 12 months, no teeth. And I was concerned. And I'm like, why does this child not have teeth? Like, where are her teeth? Not one tooth. And I'm going to the doctor and I'm like, where's her teeth? I took her to the dentist for her little 1-year checkup, just for her little first little baby visit to the dentist. And I'm like, where is this child's teeth? And they kept, of course, everyone's like, it's fine, Mom. It's fine. She's going to get teeth. It's okay. But for me, I'm looking around at everybody else's baby's teeth. And for what I know, because she's my 4th child, so I've got 3 that came before her, and I'm comparing her growth, her development, her teeth, the way she's going to be blessed, the way I'm going to be blessed, by how everybody else got their blessing, how everybody else got their teeth, and in the timing in which they received their teeth, right? Metaphorically speaking, of course, when I say teeth. But in this case, we truly are speaking about teeth. And I'm like, but it's been 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, 12 months this child is. Where are her teeth? Because by now, she's supposed to have teeth by now, right? By now, I'm supposed to have this or that blessing in my life. By now, because this is the standard. By this age or by this phase or by this whatever, this is about the time I should have XYZ, right? This is about the time she should have her teeth, but no teeth. At the same time, not only did she not have any teeth, this baby was bald-headed. She had no hair. So again, I'm like, she's 6 months old. This child ain't even got a little Pebbles ponytail up top of her head. Pebbles off of Flintstones. She ain't even got a little bit. This baby has nothing. The baby's slick-headed. I ain't gonna say she was completely slick. She did have like hair flat to her head. But no, she did not have a little afro. She did not have several ponytails. None of that. No, this child had like very little hair. She wasn't completely bald, but no, honestly, she just did not have a lot of hair. And I'm like, where is this child's hair? And so, same thing. I'm looking and I'm like, she's 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, a year old, no hair. Same thing for walking. She also was not walking. 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, 12 months, 13 months, 14 months, hadn't taken a step, was not walking. And so I took her to the doctor and I'm like, doctor, this baby ain't walking. She's 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, 12 months. I'm like, doctor, she's not walking. 12 months, the doctor was like, it's okay. She's fine. It's okay. And I'm like, but all the other babies are walking by now, at least by their birthday. They're walking. This baby ain't walking. And she was seemingly healthy and fine, and she is. But I was just a nervous wreck. Like, why is my child not walking? Because everybody should be walking by at least a year old, but hopefully, 9, 10, 11 months, 12 months, 13 months, 14 months, not walking. At 14 months, I took her in and the doctor said, if she's not walking by 15 months, we'll go ahead and send her to a specialist and see what's going on. Because by 15 months, she probably should be walking. So, but at this point, don't worry, Mom, she's okay. So 14 months goes on and on. Right before or maybe right when she turned 15 months, right at the 15-month mark, she finally started walking. Now, I'm comparing her development, these teeth, her hair, when she walks, to the standard, to the status quo, to everyone else. And when their child would start walking, when my other kids started walking or grew hair or had teeth. And she taught me something different, that your blessing, that thing you're waiting on, the thing that you want so bad, the thing you're supposed to have by a certain time, you think it comes when God wants it to come for you, right? So coming full circle, I was a nervous wreck with the teeth coming in, right? Because I'm like, her teeth are taking too long. Her teeth are taking too long. Her feet are moving too slow. Her hair is growing too slow. So on the back end, now it's time for these same teeth to start falling out. And they're taking their sweet time falling out, just like they took their sweet time coming in. And I'm like, but doctor, pull these teeth out because they're going too slow. My hands have to be all over the situation, manipulating and controlling the situation, because they gotta come when I want them to come. Because I'm like, but by now, they should have been here. The thing, the blessing, the thing you're waiting on, praying for, blah, 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 working for, should be here by now. It should have happened. Where is it at? So let me put my hands on it and let me manipulate this situation. Let me have a little control over the situation. Because if it's not going to come naturally, then let me do what I need to do to make it happen on Tiffany's time, because it's late getting here according to Tiffany's time, right? And so when my daughter's teeth came out when it needed to come out, and she out of her own mouth at age 7 says, Mama, see, I told you to leave it alone. It would come when it needs to come out. It would come out, Mama, if you would just leave it alone. And she said, see, Mama, it came out on its own when you wasn't bothering it. And that spoke to me like none other, because isn't that how we operate when it's something that we want and it's not getting to you fast enough? We get to wiggling and jiggling and going paying folk to do what we need it to do, because naturally it's not coming like we want it to come. But have you ever met a child, now, and otherwise, that didn't have an extenuating circumstance? Now, there are people that don't walk or don't have teeth or hair doesn't grow. And, and those are based on maybe some medical conditions, some underlying conditions that are going on. So with the exception of those sorts of conditions, but an otherwise healthy individual, okay, an otherwise healthy individual. Have you ever seen an otherwise healthy individual not have teeth to ever grow in? Like, have you ever seen a child that didn't have any other circumstances going on with them? Have you seen a child that's 5 or 6 years old that just doesn't have a tooth, y'all? And let's just be real. Have you ever seen a child 5 or 6, 7 years old and they still don't have any teeth in their mouth? Right? Have you ever seen a child that's healthy, that didn't have any, other conditions going on with them, but an otherwise healthy child not walk? And again, being sensitive to the fact that there are people that these things don't happen for, that have medical conditions. So not discounting their life or experiences or anything like that. But I'm saying just in general terms, don't kids walk at some point, right? And don't they grow their teeth? And don't they grow their hair typically, right? So why be frantic as if this thing is never going to happen? As if her teeth are never, ever going to come in, or that they're not going to fall back out, or that she's just not, her hair or walking, that she's not going to take her first steps ever. Like, why was I freaking out? Right? Because, you just common sense tells you the child's hair going to grow. Her teeth are going to come in. She's going to learn to walk. So why was I tripping? But for me, she didn't do it fast enough. It's all about speed. She didn't do it on my time fast enough, and you could apply that to anything in life. It could be, the job, the career, the house, the car, the business, the spouse, the children, being able to have children, the whatever it is. When it doesn't come when we want it, we have a terrible tendency to X God out. We tired of praying for the thing because we're praying, but it seemed like it's not coming, despite the fact that we're being faithful in praying for it. And we're working towards it and we're working on it. But even our own hands and our own efforts aren't bringing the fruit and the harvest that we're wanting as quickly as we want it. And so because we can't seem to get God to move quick enough, and our own hands aren't producing the fruit and the harvest quick enough, we figure out, well, what else can we do to manipulate this thing? and make it come for us. The husband, the business, the money, the whatever. And we spend all our resources, all our time, all our money, all our effort, all our energy trying to make it happen. If we would just take our hands off of it and let it happen when it needs to happen, we would see the hand of God move according to his will, in his way, and we would see it come out better than if we had anything to do with it happening, right? And so that's just a little something I wanted to share with you guys because it was amazingly big for me, especially at the moment that it occurred. I needed that. I needed to know that what I think is delayed is not denial, that it's still coming. It's still coming. And when it comes, it'll be better than had I had anything to do with it. And it will come in perfect timing, right when it needs to be here, whatever that thing is. And I am sharing the same for you in your situation. With that being said, I want you to know I love you, love you, love you. I am praying God's best blessings for you. I thank you for sharing your time with me. And if you have any type of testimony, any type of feedback, commentary, question, whatever, I want to hear from you. Go to my website and click on the appropriate box or button where you can leave your questions, your feedback, your testimony, whatever. And let me know if you would like for me to be able to share it. Sometimes people share things that give me feedback and they would like to keep it confidential. And other times they give me feedback and they don't mind at all if I were to share it with others because, sometimes what people share as far as their experiences, their comments, their testimonies are really powerful. And I like to be able to encourage others because the Bible does say that we are encouraged by the power of our testimonies. And so anyway, that being said, thank you again. And the website would be organizedenergy.co. That is not .com. It's .co /podcast. organizedenergy.co /podcast. And let me hear from you. Have the best week ever. All right. Bye-bye.
It is awesome to listen to my show, but wouldn't it be amazing if you could launch your very own? Go from listening to launching when you pick up my new book called Is This Thing On? The Super Simple Guide to Planning, Launching, and Scaling Your Podcast. And of course, it was written by a podcaster for new and aspiring podcasters. Building a brand and operating a business can get a little hectic sometimes. I mean, there's a million things to do and you only have 2 hands, but not to fret. I've got some goodies for you. I want you to visit organizedenergy.co /spill the tea. organizedenergy.co /spill the tea. I have curated a list of some of the favorite tools and resources that I use as I operate my business that have been amazing for me. They have helped me to save time. They have helped me to build my team. They have helped me to stay connected with my people. And I absolutely love so many of these tools. I want to share them with you and it's free to download. So again, go to organizedenergy.co /spill the tea so that I can help you get started working smarter and not harder.